Welcome back to the channel. This is a guide to install Mac OS Monterey on a Windows 10 PC using VirtualBox. If you haven't already installed VirtualBox on your computer, click on the link and it will take you through a simple guide. So let's get on with it. So what are the minimum requirements for installing Mac OS Monterey? You're going to need at least 4 GB of RAM, 8 GB is recommended. You're going to need 80 GB of hard drive space, or 150 is recommended in this case. You're also going to need a CPU with 2 cores, but preferably 4. You're going to need the Monterey ISO and VirtualBox with extension pack already installed. We've already installed VirtualBox, so let's get started with the virtual machine. So the first thing we need to do is download Mac OS Monterey ISO. Now the links are all in the description below, so just follow the video and click on them when you need to. So let's open Google Chrome. This is the link for the downloader. It takes you through to Mediafire and we'll start the download. If it doesn't start it automatically, you'll just have to click here. Now I've already downloaded this on my system, so I'm not going to continue with this download process. But as you can see, depending on your internet connection, it could take between 10 and 20 minutes because it's 15 GB. So we'll minimize Google. So let's open VirtualBox. We'll go to New Machine. We're going to name our machine Mac OS Monterey for obvious reasons. And I want you to copy this name. This will become evident why we need to do this a bit later. Now the machine folder can stay the same. If you want to move it on your machine, you can do by the drop down arrow. I tend to leave it as it is. These are the crucial bits. So it may say Microsoft Windows or Linux by default, but you want to put it on Mac OS X. You also want to put it on Mac OS X 64-bit. If it only says 32-bit or Snow Leopard 32-bit, you need to go into your BIOS and enable Intel virtualization technology. It may be called something different on other motherboards, but certainly on the Asus motherboard I have in this machine, it is called Intel virtualization technology. When you've done that, reboot your machine and start this process again. You should then be able to see macOS 64-bit. So for the memory size, I like to set it to 8 GB. Now you can use the slider, or I tend to just tap the numbers in there. Now if you go into the red, that's taking up memory that the PC needs to operate. So you may get some instability, so stay away from that. Next, we need to create a virtual hard disk for all the files you may want to store. We go to Create. We can change the virtual disk location if you want to put it somewhere different. You can, I'm just leaving it as default. Then I want to set the hard drive to 80 GB, although as I said in the specs, you can set it to higher if you wish. We'll leave these the same, the VirtualBox disk image and dynamically allocated, and click on Create. Now we've created our machine, but there's a few things we need to go through in settings. If you click on the cogwheel, the first thing we need to go to is System. We already set our RAM before. We want to untick floppy, then go through to the processor. So this is a really crucial area. People have had problems when they've increased the number of processors. If you are having instability, i.e. you're having loops where the black text keeps coming round and round and round, you need to set it to 1 CPU. It will slow the whole installation process down, but it seems to be more stable. That seems to be the answer to this problem. So set it to 1 CPU. You can always change it later once you've gone through the install. Leave everything else as it is. Go to Display, and we're going to push the video memory all the way up to 128 meg to allow a little more smoother operation. We're going to go to the storage. Now this is quite crucial. So we'll click on Empty, which is our virtual optical disk. You want to navigate through to where you downloaded the Monterey file before. So we're going to go to Choose a disk file. Then we're going to go to our Downloads. And then there's our ISO. We're going to open that. And then all these can say the same apart from USB. I set it to USB 3. So click OK. And then you've got your basis of your new machine. Now we need to do some things with the code. I will put this link below, but what I want you to do, and this is really important, is close down VirtualBox Manager. So the next thing we're going to go and do is change the code for VirtualBox. We're going to make it think that it's a Mac that we are installing this on and not a PC. So go to the command line link in the description and download the file to a Notepad. I've already done it here, and I suggest you do something similar. So if you remember, we copied the name of our virtual machine before, and now comes a point where we need to paste it into this document. So what I want you to do is go to Edit, Replace. So type VM name into there. Then you need to paste the name of your machine that you copied before into the replace with. And then we'll click Replace All. And it's done exactly that, change the VM name to the Mac OS Monterey. So we'll close that down. Then we're going to open the command prompt and right click Run as admin. Once that has opened up there, we're going to copy the directory, paste it into the command prompt, hit enter, and then you're going to do the same with each one of these commands. I'm just pressing copy and paste and enter after each one of these. Okay, now they're all in. We are done with the commands. So you can close command prompt down, and I want you to go back into VirtualBox. So let's launch our virtual machine. Now I'm going to make the machine full screen so that you can see a bit better what's going on. If I press Control on the right hand side of the keyboard and F, it'll bring up this dialog box, which is basically saying you've done exactly that. I'm going to click Switch and it'll make it full screen. We'll just dismiss these messages. To come out of it, you just need to press Control F again and it'll come out. So now this is a menu that you're all a bit more familiar with. It's the Mac OS installer menu. So we're going to navigate through here. Click OK. Now we're going to click on the disk utility because we're going to reformat the virtual hard disk. This won't be your PC hard disk. This will be the disk we've created within the VirtualBox app. So we click on the top option, VBox Hard Disk Media. Then we go to Erase. And I like to select Mac OS Extended Journal just because I've had some problems with APFS in the past. So we will click on that. We'll rename it Mac OS. And then we'll do Erase. And it's now erasing your virtual disk. So click Done. And then we need to quit Disk Utility and go to Install Mac OS Monterey, click Continue, and continue again. Then we just agree. Select the drive we just formatted, and continue again. Now this could take anywhere from the 17 minutes, but more than likely it'll be about an hour that it takes to install all the files to your virtual disk. So we've got to the main setup screen for Mac OS Monterey. We're going to go through the usual setup. It's a bit laggy, but you have to bear with it through this process. It will get better once we get to desktop. So I'm going to go through everything here. I'm going to skip through most of it because I'm not setting up a full user with iCloud account. It's just to show you what it's like when we get to the desktop. Continue. I'm not going to restore from anything at the moment, though it is an option. We'll set this up later. Yes, skip that. Agree to the terms and conditions. And agree again. And we'll quickly create an account. Go through continue. Don't use location services. Click continue. Continue again. Don't have Siri on. Continue again. We need to set up our keyboard. This is quite normal, so we'll do exactly what it says. Identify the key immediately to the right of the shift key on the left side of the keyboard, which is this one. We'll click done. And here we are at desktop. This is how Monterey looks on a Mac, and this is how it now looks on your PC. We can eject the install Mac OS Monterey because we don't need it anymore. You can just click and eject. And you've got access to every app, photos, messages, and then obviously if we go into applications as well, got all the applications there. You even have access to the system preferences, so you can alter anything in there. You've still got your sound, so it's basically like you're using a full Monterey system. One thing I'd like to inform you about is that you will not get it any bigger than this. With Windows using VirtualBox, you will be able to alter the resolution to the size of your screen. Unfortunately, with Mac, you can only get it to this square, which is a bit inconvenient, but you can still use it as a sandboxed Mac to test applications and run things, whatever you would like to do. If you want to play around with the settings for your CPUs and your RAM usage, you can do that, but you will have to shut down your machine to alter the settings. I'll quickly show you how to do that. So we're going to use Ctrl F to get out of here. We're going to stop the machine by clicking on the X, and it gives you three options. We can save the machine state. That will mean that it will look the same when you boot back into the virtual machine. Or we can send a shutdown signal, which will tell the Mac to gracefully shut down, or we can just power off the machine like you were holding the power key. I'm going to power off the machine. It is a virtual machine after all. You can then look back at the settings and alter anything in the system, like the RAM if you want a bit more, like the processor if you like to push it up to 6 but never go into the red. Please explore this. You'll be able to work out what is stable, what isn't stable in your operating system. But once you've done this, it might give you a bit better performance within your virtual machine. I hope you've enjoyed the video. So if you have, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel and comment if you want. It always helps to find out what's working, what's not working. I've hopefully got lots of videos on the channel coming soon, and thanks for watching.